So with the expansion of the technological age, things like phones, laptops are becoming a daily thing in our lives. And all of those things are useless without a decent internet connection. So a long time ago, I started a series called Better Wi-Fi, focusing on steps that you need to do to improve your Wi-Fi connection for the average Joe. And here, Better Wi-Fi makes its return. Today we're going to discuss some of the things you should consider changing on your router, some of the settings you should consider changing on your router to improve your Wi-Fi coverage and connection. So this video is not for the evidently tech savvy. This is for the guys who just have a router set up and are battling with a bad network connection. We're going to talk through some of the steps that you should try changing to improve your Wi-Fi coverage. And right out the bat, the first thing we should consider is turning on your 5 gigahertz bandwidth. To some of us, this may seem like a normal thing, but most routers, even older routers, only had the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth enabled. And turning on the 5 gigahertz bandwidth will give you better coverage, faster speeds. If your router doesn't support 5 gigahertz, then you should definitely consider changing your router. The second setting that we should consider changing is actually updating the firmware of our router. Because most of the time the routers, straight how we bought it from the shop, plonk it down at home and set it up and leave it like that. Changes are made, better connection settings and coverage, and all of those things are implemented slowly with the routers occasionally. So that's why the second thing we should do is consider upgrading the firmware on our router. Now, coming to the third thing. The third thing we should consider doing is changing our Wi-Fi channels. So Wi-Fi channels, if you're living in a complex or even if you're living in a freehold home, with neighbors and everyone having Wi-Fi, a lot of the time what tends to happen is that Wi-Fi networks overlap and some routers use the exact same bandwidth, so you end up clashing with two different networks, your neighbor's network and your network. Now you can't go and fight with your neighbor and tell them turn off their Wi-Fi, but what you can go ahead and do is change the Wi-Fi channel so that you are focusing on a different channel that maybe doesn't have too many devices in it. The fourth setting we can consider using is something called QoS. QoS is quality of service. So quality of service, without giving you too much of information to take away from this can allow you to prioritize specific traffic over others. Like in a gaming instance, you have gaming routers that prioritize gaming traffic over everything else. But on regular routers, you can do the exact same thing. Like, you could prioritize WhatsApp calls over something like Netflix, so that if you have Netflix streaming in 4K, it's not gonna drop your Wi-Fi call or your WhatsApp call. So you can implement QoS levels for different things. Like if you have high priority of phone calls and you want a lower priority of like surfing the web and that sort of thing, then you can do that. The final setting that I'm going to suggest you guys do is monitor who is on your network and utilize something called a blacklist. So a blacklist will allow you to block devices from connecting to your Wi-Fi. So if you have unknown devices, say one of your neighbors got your password and they piggybacking off your Wi-Fi, you can apply their device unique identification called a MAC address to this blacklist, so that although they can connect to your network, they can't do anything else. It will just say no internet and they can't do anything else with your network. So that is a blacklist. Guys, I hope this video was useful. It wasn't too in-depth, but it has given you the ideas to look out for and some settings to change to consider improving your quality of Wi-Fi as well as the performance of your Wi-Fi. If you want to check out some of our other videos regarding better Wi-Fi, it covers things like improving Wi-Fi speeds, boosting Wi-Fi signals, how to check who's on your Wi-Fi, as well as optimal placement of your router. There's a link in the description below to that playlist, so you can check out those videos as well. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving a like rating if you did. If you aren't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. Guys, thanks for watching. My name is Prashant. I'll catch you